Yes, so good day. Haha. Right now I'm rolling down by the beach, honestly, and a little thought came to me based on conversation I had with somebody last night. It's rather amusing, Maybe not amusing, but it leaves somebody with some thoughts. You see, I've been talking to a guy. Actually, we've been talking, like chatting up a storm, like, and he was talking about a girlfriend, we had, and the thing about it is that they broke up, and well, he said he had loved that girl so much that 2 years, 3 years passed and he don't find anybody. As a matter of fact, it's not like he don't find anybody, because he could always do that, but he was just not interested in anybody. But then what happened is he met his ex-girlfriend a couple months ago, and they were talking, when you be with somebody for a while, you build up this familiarity and this sense of relaxation with them, So she talked freely, and she actually told him basically is that since they broke up, she went through 4 boyfriends, 3 years. And he hasn't touched one since after her. And I was like, whoa. 3, 4 boyfriends, none of them work. And I asked myself, well, what's up? The thing about it is that she assumed that he had other girls because, women spoke to him, so she got angry, and she decided, well, she don't want him anymore, So, as a result of that, their relationship was broken up. So, she see other people and maybe she wanted other people. And he knew to himself that he wasn't actually involved with anybody in any way. But he chill, because sometimes, some men usually take relationship more serious than some women, and some women just have this tendency to make you think that their relationship is 100% serious all along. Most of them just look for a way to jump out, Most of them come with their preconditions and stuff like that. No, it's the truth. Come with your preconditions, you want that, and you put yourself on a kind of time frame, if you don't marry me in 2 years, if you don't do this in 2 years, if you don't do that in 3 years, if you don't do that in 1 year, then I leave him and go get somebody else. So a lot of women come into relationship with those kind of preconditions. As a result of that, they mess up their relationship from the word go. You understand? And that's a fact. So the problem is, what they don't have is that instead of they trying to build a relationship with you, genuinely build a relationship with you, they sit back and they're watching and see what you would do, whether you would marry them or whether you would do whatever they have in their mind to do. So what would happen is that that relationship would not be getting fuel, building materials, I should say. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years pass, and nothing could happen. But then most women don't go so long. You understand? So they get frustrated within their own selves without even the man knowing it. And one day they just, within themselves, decide, well, no more relationship because he's not doing what I think he would do. You see, when you have a relationship, right, you have to give it room to breathe. You can't be all caught up in your preconditions. Yes, it's true. Sometimes you get yourself in a relationship and you say, you know, that you would like to get married sometime during the course of your relationship or after a period of time. Okay? So then even if that will happen, let's say next 5 years, what you'll be doing in the meantime? What you're supposed to be doing is to build in a relationship with that person. So like everything else, you sit down and you build a relationship with that person. And with the grace of the Most High Yahuwah, then He bless that relationship once He find that it is qualified for you guys to unite. Like that. Okay? But then if you just sit down, you're going through day to day and you're just looking at, just want him to marry. Really happen. And even if it happened at gunpoint, yeah, I should say that by gunpoint, because most people just put people on the spot all of a sudden, you know, put a gun in your head and say, you know, you have to marry me. Otherwise, so is the case. And some people, because of their timidity, they get scared and they say, okay, you know what, let me just go tie up the knot and call it George. Well, they could call it me too. And then when that happens, and you're in your relationship now, all that you wanted, you realize that your relationship had no foundation because you built no foundation for your relationship. So when you get in your marriage now, your marriage has nothing to live on. You understand? Your marriage has nothing to live on because you spend quite a number of time thinking about you want to get married and not thinking about how to build and keep your relationship. You understand? Those are the things we have to be conscious of. Okay? So I told the guy, I said, look, in this life, you look out there, you have women, they don't care too much, and that's true. You see, most of them, they don't care too much about love initially, you know. It's what you could give, what you could do for them. Men are like that too. A lot of men, plenty men are like that. And what they tell themselves is that when they get in the relationship, maybe they might learn to get used to you. Men are like that because you have men will see a woman, big butt and all going down the street. And he just want to possess this woman. Just possess. You want to have this woman, and then when you want to have this woman, you have this woman. You get attracted by her butt, or breast, or whatever, or looks, or face, whatever it is. And then you go marry this person, and then when you really get down to knowing the person, you realize that this person, they are moving parallel with you. You know? So, because of those things, find that we have a lot of relationships being destroyed. You see? Because people don't learn to wait. You understand? They don't learn to go easy and be real. You understand? And stuff like that. Okay. So I just always say, you know, it's better to don't have any relationship than to have a relationship where it's pulling and tugging and fighting and stuff like that. You understand? I also tell you this, that for the brothers and the sisters who bow down and seeking the Father, I'm not talking about going to no Christian church and things like that. Nah. I'm not talking about that. Somebody who know the Father in the true sense of the word. Yes, I say in the true sense. There's some fake, there are a lot of fake people out there claiming to know the Father and claiming to be following the Father. So if you know the Father, you will realize that when you're serving the Father, that it doesn't matter about who you have physically. You see, because what you would realize is that you will need somebody who want to serve the Father with you in spirit and in truth. You understand? And you will reach that consciousness that if you don't get somebody to serve the Father with you, to look at the Most High or Elohim and serve Him and, you know, worship Him and everything like that for the rest of your life, you will realize that if you don't find this person, then it don't make any sense even having a relationship. You understand? It don't make any sense, because at the end of the day, that person, what they would do, you understand, is just kill your ability to serve the Father. You know? So you have to be equally yoked. You understand? And I'm not talking about two of all going in Pentecostal church or two of all going in Seventh-day Adventist church. That is just total crap. You understand? Because you have to know that it's our Elohim who make marriages. And if he is not in that marriage, then that is not a marriage. You understand? That is just contracts signing in the Babylonian world. That is no marriage. So if he is not in it, then it is not a marriage. You have to know that. Okay? So when you have to get a partner, make sure the partner, I mean, if two of all these two devils, then maybe it's just two devils, you know. But then if you're serving the Father, because you see, I like to talk to people who want to serve the Most High or Elohim. I like to talk to people who have this desire to serve our Elohim. Because I just always say that if you have the desire to serve our Elohim, you will understand and you will hear the songs of the Father. Because if you doesn't have the desire, then you wouldn't hear our Elohim. And even if he call you, you mightn't even hear. You have to have the desire. And the reason why I say you have to have the desire is because it gives you that freedom of choice. That free will to choose. You see, the Father said, I give you two roads. I put two roads before you. One of life, one of death. Now you choose. You understand? You choose. So if you choose to serve our Father, most definitely you will have the desire to serve Him and listen to Him. You see? It's only so much you could do with somebody who doesn't have the desire to serve our Elohim. Yeah, no. So for women who always want to go around and sample fellas, what he could do for me, what this one could do for me, what that one could do for me, there is a judgment for that. There is a price to pay for that. You know? There are some people, the whole idea of their life, or the concept of their life according to their own eyes, is to achieve whatever people could give them by any means necessary, even giving up their soul. But you see, if you read the Holy Scripture, the Scriptures say, the cares of the world. You see, the cares of the world have a tendency to choke, C-H-O-K-E, choke out the word. You could read that somewhere in Mark 4, I think, was it 19 or something. So, because of the desires and the cares of the world, what you care about in this world, it have a tendency to choke out the word. And who the Scripture tells you is the word. Your salvation, Yahushua, the Son of our Elohim. Because the word was made flesh and dwelt among us. So then if you care about what goes on around you, you want wealth, you want wife, you want husband, you want money to do this, money to do that, and that is what you want to do, you'll be so caught up with what is going on around you that you wouldn't care less about the word of the Most High. It would not be a priority in your life or anything. You know, you will serve other deities because you want money, you want wife, you want husband, and all those stuff. The Scripture says if a man get a wife, he get a good thing. So right now it's like, not all woman is wife material. Likewise, I could definitely tell you not all man is husband material also. You understand? So if you get a husband of our Elohim, you get a good thing. If you get a wife of our Elohim, you get a good thing. Because if you get a wife and she's not, or what you call a wife and she's not of Elohim and she don't serve our Elohim, then you'll have to walk down out for yourself. Because from my point of view, it would not be a good thing. So as I am saying, be at peace, be blessed. Make sure you don't run around your life and waste yourself. Don't do it. Have a relationship. Build that relationship. Build it. That is what you gotta do. You gotta build that relationship. You have to have our Father Elohim in that relationship. You understand? If you don't have our Father in this relationship, it's not a relationship, because everything about the Father and the love He has for us is about relationship. The relationship you have with Him, the relationship you have with your brother, the relationship you have with your sister. Yeah, it's about relationship. So any relationship you have, keep building it, keep working at it, and just don't go sampling men. And fellas, don't go sampling women, all kind of women. You don't have a tendency to damage them people. You understand? Okay? Don't let your demons, these sexual demons, get to you in such a way that you're just sampling women, sampling men, just doing all this foolishness. That is not correct. You understand? So be at peace, be blessed. I will most definitely see you in another video. So let me cut off here right now.